Today we'll be reviewing Hogwarts Legacy. Don't say Harry Potter when talking about this game, or she who must not be named might appear. Is this the game the fans have been waiting for? Or is this the one we're happy to boycott? Let's go! Let's get into it. The Harry Potter series has had a ton of video games, some more terrible than others. But for the most part, they've been bad. You might have liked them as a kid, but you were dumb and impressionable. But they were all released in the dark ages of licensed games. IPs were treated like garbage. Capcom and Konami did a great job with a lot of their licensed games on the NES. But this era was as if LJN exploded their influence on making terrible games for all of our beloved franchises. Did you know that PlayStation is canon in the Harry Potter books? In The Goblet of Fire, Dudley chucks his PlayStation out of the window. But according to the timelines of the books, it shouldn't have happened yet. The Harry Potter books take place from 1991 to 1998. When Dudley is throwing his PlayStation, it's the summer of 1994. But the PlayStation didn't come out until December 1994 in Japan, and it didn't come out until September 1995 in Europe. But maybe we shove these facts into the weird veil that Sirius Black fell into and never explain where Dudley got his PlayStation from. Because why does anything have to be explained in the wizarding world? The game starts off strange. You're a fifth-year student going to Hogwarts for the first time. Apparently you are so cool that you gotta skip the first 4 years. I suspect it is because they have a contract to make 3 games, and the last one should be the graduating year. The best compliment I can give it is that the story feels like you're reading a book. There's a lot of familiar tropes in the game, even if they don't need to be, like going to Gringotts Bank. It also takes a bunch of liberties like ancient magic, which is only mentioned in the books once as love that Harry Potter's mom uses to protect him. Overall, it feels like you're living in this world, free to do what you want, whenever you want. As a fan, I enjoy exploring and discovering all the places I read about or seen in the movies. Like Hogsmeade, the Forbidden Forest, the Quidditch pitch, and Hagrid's hut. It's all so fun! But I was a bit disappointed when I didn't get to play Quidditch, or ride on the train, or take a boat ride up to the castle. They offered a huge map that I don't think anyone was expecting. The amount of time it takes to do everything is incredible. When you play a lot of the side quests, they start to feel repetitive. The enemies are the same, and they sort of fight the same way. I wish there were more enemy varieties, because it just felt like it was large for the sake of being large, and enemies for the sake of having enemies. The game has some very dynamic and morally gray characters. They're good for the most part, but they have a few bad elements to them. Like Sebastian, a Slytherin who wants to save his sister, but uses dark magic to do so. Ominous is quick to judge you before he even knows anything about you. Or Poppy, who wants to help magical creatures, but you find out her family are poachers. There are only a few characters in this game that you can interact with, and although their stories are well written and thought out, most of them only have one quest. How can you tease an obvious Hermione or Ron alternative, but then only let us do one quest with these characters? I played the game on hard, and it started off fine, but it quickly got out of hand when I got to the dueling club. I was stuck on the battle for about an hour. This game has the combat of Dark Souls, and I'm not kidding. You'll be dodging, parrying, and screaming in frustration. How is one hit? It's hard for me to separate my fandom from the source material and the game, but I think it was the game made for me. I never expected it to be difficult, but I'm glad that it is. As a fan of both the hard games and Harry Potter, I was ecstatic to see everything that this game had to offer. This game was an amazing sandbox where it let me run free and experience it practically any way I wanted. But looking back at the books, Harry was restricted in his movements in a lot of ways. There were rules and regulations, and it was his imagination of breaking these rules that made the books truly special. When you go to the Forbidden Forest in this game, sure, it's cool to see, but it doesn't have the same weight of somewhere that you shouldn't be. And Hogsmeade isn't as special if you go there anytime that you want. In the books, it was a reward for the kids, but Harry doesn't have permission to go. So he sneaks there, and there is danger of being caught. There is no danger. But I have to look at the game for what it is. A fun, tough game with a lot of great set pieces and a great story. Alright guys, thanks for hanging out. If you want to see my Twitch, there's a link below. And if you want to see my other reviews, they're right over here. Alright guys, see ya!